Wonderful. Question number 7, how do you select your curriculum?
It is very teacher generated. Again, we pull from all different areas. We're always looking at new and upcoming curriculum. We pull what works. We pull what we think is, going to meet our children's needs the best and prepare them the best as we're continuing to move forward. So we do not commit to one specific curriculum because I think it pigeonholes you when you do that. So we pull from various curriculums and we put it together. It's consistent year after year. We reevaluate it every summer collaboratively as a team.
Wonderful. And we also discussed in the class how there are, package curriculums out there like Open Court Preschool or Creative Curriculum, but they're great for a teacher that's new and doesn't have any
Yeah.
experience. But as you progress and you start adding in assessment and just the flexibility to be able to give a child what they need, usually you end up depending on something.
It does.
with
And so
experience.
to avoid something like that, generally with my newer teachers, I place them with a seasoned teacher so that we have a mentor process happening there. So they learn the role of how to use those curriculums rather than be a slave to those curriculums, making them work for you rather than you working for them.
Exactly. Good. That's a good way of approaching it. Number 8, how do you establish your nutrition, health, and safety parameters?
So obviously we go with state licensing guidelines. We do not serve hot lunch in-house, so we go with an outside company. So the responsibility of making sure nutritional needs are met falls back on them. That works great for us. But snacks, and so we provide 2 snacks, morning and afternoon, and then also, juice or milk or whatnot. And we will go with the pyramid, so, and if there's any types of parties, we encourage, fruit, cheese, fresh type snacks like that versus packaged cookies and whatnot. So we try to go with pyramid and doing the healthy stuff, but because we don't provide hot food on site, we do, but through an outside company, that kind of alleviates us from having to go through a whole nutritional.
Good. You probably went through a cost analysis also to figure out it's probably best to go through an outside source rather than have an inside cook and
For
provide
us it
salary
is.
benefits.
For us it is because of our facility. We don't have, a large kitchen on the lower campus to be able to prepare and keep that environment, the way that it needs to be by health department standards. And so it's better for us to have somebody coming in and they have that ownership.
Good. Wonderful. Let's go on to question number 9. How do you formulate your staff development?
So staff development, again, we move with where the climate of the school is. So, we keep in close touch with what are the parents' needs this year? What are we seeing as, a big issue going on in our environment, in our community? And then we want to shape and grow the staff to be able to meet those needs. And then we also watch the kids as where they're going as a whole. So we will work on academics, we'll work on developmental things. Currently, we have a large infusion of kids that fall on the spectrum. And so that's something that, whether it's really low on the spectrum or really high on the spectrum, so that's something we're training our staff in how to identify early and how to work through those situations and what they can do in the classroom to integrate those kids properly. So in that process, we just really move with the climate of our students and our families, and it just goes, season by season. And if we find that it's kind of a flat climate, then I get creative with what I think needs to happen next.
Good. Wonderful. You mentioned low, not achievement, but children are coming in usually with a slightly slower standard of academics, or we've seen this in a number of programs, including the elementary level. Are you seeing a large influence of special needs children?
We are. We have a significantly larger population of kids that are special needs or have social disorders, and so we really try to meet those needs as best as possible and grow them in those areas, specifically the social aspect at the child care center. Knowing that play is their work and trying to get them to learn how to interact. The academics then will come if they learn to make that base. And so we're definitely seeing a larger group coming in year after year. It seems to be growing, unfortunately.
And it is a market industry. Are you seeking any specialized training for some staff or credentialing or licensing to be able to take care of children with autism, for example, or Asperger's or indigo children?
We have a unique situation where we are in collaboration with a small school already here on our site that specializes in very, very low functioning kids on the spectrum for autism. I have all of my training in special needs and autism as well, and so we have staff that have risen to the occasion and want to continue training, and so we have a collaborative relationship with the school here on campus, and they're going to be coming in and training our staff in more of the social aspect of it versus, because there's certain kids we just can't meet their needs on our site. So we'll get the training with the kids that we can.
Good, good, wonderful. The other question that was inherent in number 9, but we didn't really ask it, is you work with your staff. Do you canvass your parents also? Do you carry out some sort of canvassing?
We do. We survey. We survey every year, what they are interested in, how they feel the school is moving along, how they feel about their child's development and growth, their experience here on site, their classroom, the equipment, the area, everything that has to do with our school. We ask our parents for feedback, and we continue to move and grow in those areas. And that has to do with curriculum as well. Do you feel your child is moving and progressing along your expectations? And so we continue to always keep in touch with what's going on out in the community. It's important.
Good. Now, and this is a reference to the father of preschool, Bronfenbrenner, who said you need to involve the parents. I know that it's hard, especially in this area where it's so transient, and you have such community, but parents. Do you provide, or have you attempted in the past to carry out any kind of parent training, any kind of parent development?
Yeah, one of the things that we kind of claim, or our claim to fame, is that we partner with our parents. We are a partnership, and so not only do we try to meet them outside, and do training for parents, we also have them coming to us, come in and help in the classroom, see what's going on. We have a very open door policy on our campus, but then we also have intentional parent trainings. Come to a parent night, learn about tantrums, or whatever it is. And so we do those probably twice a year. I would like to see those happen quarterly, but we're still kind of developing that area. But right now we have at least 2 that happen within the year at the child care age.
Good, wonderful. Question number 10. What process do you use for your fiscal? Oh, I'm sorry. I already asked that, didn't I?
You did.
Question number 11, and this is the last question. How do you interact with your board? We talked about the need to have a on-paper business entity. Anytime that you have that, you should have a board. We talked with the class how the board really helps to protect you. It is your conscience. It is your filter. It is your checks and balances. How do you interact with your board?
It's so important. I agree with that so much. My interaction with the board is we meet monthly, and basically we give an account of what did we do over the last month, and the board goes through and they're able to question everything that we did over the last month. It's an accountability process, and so in that process they're able to ask questions about what we did and what we're going to be doing, where we're going. And it's nice to have the various personalities on the board, because everybody has a different perspective, and it causes we just sharpen each other. It causes us to think differently about the direction that we're going, and it allows me to see clearly different perspectives, because again, more people to give their perspective, I think the better school that we'll have. And so again, our interaction is on a monthly basis, and it's really all about accountability.
Good. Do you have any parents on your board?
Currently, we don't have parents on our board. We have teachers and church staff on the board, as well as financial and deacons.
Good, wonderful. And last thing is, you mentioned financial. Do you work? How do you maintain your budgeting or your fiscal planning? Do you have somebody that helps you out with that?
Yeah, we have a business manager, and I meet with him pretty regularly. So we do. I've been doing budgeting for years and years, and so with my knowledge and his knowledge together, we look at over. We generally will take like the last 2 years to develop the next year's budget. We never go just 1 year behind, because we always want to anticipate. Where did we come from, and we don't want to overshoot it. And so we are very conservative budgeters. And then again, we're held accountable then by the school committee board to make sure that before we move forward with any budget, we get a stamp of approval on that. And then we also revisit the budget a few times during the year. Once we set a budget, it doesn't mean that it sticks there. If we have to make adjustments or cut back somewhere because we overshot it or something didn't come through, we are very flexible at making those adjustments, and we try to jump on that before we're looking backwards.
Good. And one last question, which is not on here. How do you diffuse? How do you unwind? How does Julie Brown take care of herself?
Oh my gosh. Well, oddly enough, I really love what I do. And so I don't have this huge need to diffuse it or unwind because I really have a passion for what I do. But, I don't like to take work home, and I won't take, all my kids in the office and all of this home with me. So, when I leave it here, and I come back new to it fresh tomorrow. And I think that's probably my easy answer to that, but I have an amazing passion for what I do, and so I don't feel stressed at the end of the day, even after a hard day. When people are in my face, I love what I do. All I have to do is walk out and see the kids, and I'm refilled. So,
Good.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Julie Brown,
My pleasure.
principal of Achiever Christian School and former director of Achiever
Preschool.
Christian Preschool.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.